What's up everybody, it's Richard here, coming in with a new video. So I know the Hush Puppy video was very well received. I think people like looking at these different scammer scenarios and these fraudsters and how they almost got away with it and all these different things. It's quite entertaining to see those people kind of come to their downfall. So I've been thinking over the last few weeks, you know, who should I do one about, and I was looking at different people associated with Hush Puppy, but they didn't really have that same kind of following. I was thinking more about people who have a mega influence. So mega influencers are generally people with around about 1 million followers, and I found someone absolutely perfect, and it is Mr. Jay Mazzini. This is him here. So yeah, Jay Mazzini is like a influencer kind of guy. To be perfectly honest, I'm not really sure how he's made his money. I imagine it's not really legitimate. I'll get into the things he's doing now and has done, but I can't find a start point for him, which is kind of weird. So over the last week or so, I've been doing some digging, finding some more information about him, and I actually have to say, I think he's potentially one of the worst individuals on the planet. Like, genuinely one of the worst people. But I'll let you guys make your mind up on that, so let's get started. Jay Mazzini, he's based in New York, New Jersey, kind of like the Teterboro area, by what I can see from his social media. He's 26 or 27, and I believe he is a Palestinian American refugee or asylum seeker. He posts a lot about Palestine, all that kind of stuff. This is something we'll get into later, and that's kind of made me come to that decision. I can't really find any information on him prior to being an influencer. It's almost like he's kind of just like popped up and been one of these guys with just hundreds of followers. But that's what I know about him on a personal level. So the thing with these people is they generally need to have something that legitimizes them slightly. Jay hasn't had too many things. I think he's just been a reasonably okay marketer. He doesn't seem very good at sales in terms of negotiating with people and stuff, but you know, he had the Lamborghini with his name on it and all that stuff. That's enough, especially if you have a few 100,000, almost 1 million, 950k in his case. That's almost enough to be able to complete, to create a business or something to live off of, having a Lamborghini and that following. There's going to be enough people in there that will believe pretty much whatever you say, and you'll be able to get revenue out of them. Jay Mazzini doesn't really have any partners in this. He has friends who have helped him cover things up, but there's one partnership that's kind of legitimised him very, very slightly. Now, the person in question that he partnered with isn't like that has went bankrupt before, but loads of successful people have. He's not like a financial expert, but he's just someone that we all know, probably follow. He's funny on Instagram, and that is Mr. 50 Cent. So if you look here, you see him and Jay Mazzini at a KFC or a Burger King or something like that, giving away money. You'll find this is something that Jay Mazzini does a lot of, is these giveaways. So I think being around 50 Cent, people would think, oh well, 50 Cent, as much as he's not like a seasoned investor, Wall Street trader, hedge fund manager, he's got money, he's got status and a reputation. As much as he's a roast master online, he probably wouldn't associate himself with someone totally terrible. So the thing we need to think about here is either 50 Cent has no idea, which most people that follow this guy don't, or 50 Cent was in on it somehow, but I would say it's more than likely the former than the latter. So the thing that annoys me the most about Jay Mazzini straight away is this is almost like an affinity scam. So an affinity scam is when you basically scam or manipulate people based on something that you guys have in common. In Jay Mazzini's case, he uses the fact that he's a Muslim and Palestinian to basically get people in the Muslim community, the pro-Palestine kind of movement, to really, really believe in him and believe that his ethics are good because he's a religious person, and that his, affinity with trying to, you know, free people in Palestine automatically makes him inherently a good person, so he would never do anything bad financially to anyone. And so far it's kind of worked. His content is not super religion heavy, but if you have a look at some of the screenshots like this one here, you see he talks a lot about, like, you know, people's opinions don't matter because God knows his intentions. I really don't have a fucking clue what God he's talking about. I stay in, well, not now, but grew up most of my life in Scotland's largest Muslim community, and I'm not going to profess to be an Islam expert, but I don't think he's praying to the same God as all my mates are. I think he's just using this as an entry door to people and something they can both say, oh, we have this in common. So you know what it's like, you bump into someone, you start talking to them and you find out you support the same football team, oh, automatically you're already more friendly. So I think he kind of capitalises on this and uses that to manipulate people in a large way online. If you look at some of these screenshots, we'll see Jay, you know, in Walmart giving out these PS5s, buying 5 PS5s and giving them to random people, and doing like what Drake done in the, what do you call it? Can't remember what video it was, when he jumps on the shopping fucking checkout thing in Walmart and starts giving out, like buying people's shopping. He does shit like that, right? And I mean, cool, like that looks awesome. And if you went down this guy's page, you'd probably at first glance go, oh, this guy's actually doing some kind of nice stuff, like he's giving money away, he's giving these PlayStations away. You'd think off the top of your head, he's actually a pretty reasonable individual. But when we actually start looking into some of his ventures, there's only been a few, we start to uncover a scam that doesn't border, it completely passes the border of utter ridiculousness. And there's actually part of me that finds it very hard not to, sounds stupid, but especially with the clothing thing we're about to talk about, there's something inside me that makes it very hard to actually feel bad for some of the victims, because they must have been either so brainwashed or gullible or just plain stupid to think that some of the stuff he was professing was right. Now, he's professing it, so he's opening the door, it's his fault, but the same way someone could say to me, oh Richard, if you swim to the bottom of the River Clyde, there's £1 million in a box there, I'd kind of go, nah, I'm alright. As much as the person suggested it to me, if I went in and drowned, it would kind of also be my fault. So, it's a bit of a weird one. It's like so out there, so fucking stupid, and so ridiculous that I actually kind of hate the scammer and some of the people getting scammed as well. As we'll see from some of the footage, some people have actually kind of been part of the scam deliberately to see what happens. So when he posts these videos, they've went and done what he says just to check the outcome, not because they wanted anything, throw the clothes in the bin and that. But on the most part, it seems like the people were actually pretty gullible. Jay has this page called Mazzini Italy. So it's like a clothing brand. From what I've checked up, he isn't Italian. I might be wrong, he could have an Italian relative. Mazzini kinda sounds like a bit of a Italian name, but his name isn't Jay Mazzini. It's like, he's got like a Middle Eastern name. I can't actually remember it now. I'll find it in my notes now that I'm saying this. But yeah, I believe he's not Italian. Now, I guess I could make a company based on Colombian coffee, like it doesn't mean I'm a Colombian person or whatever, but yeah, I think starting off having a company called Mazzini Italy when you're not Italian, automatically, it doesn't make me think you're a scammer, but it just makes me think like, that's a bit weird. It doesn't, he's got 33.3k followers on it, like cool. He's obviously been able to transfer some of his own following onto that page. It's not really hugely impressive. Firstly, let me say, the clothes are fucking horrible, right? I truly think they're horrible. His website now is currently under maintenance for obvious reasons that we'll see, but I couldn't really find out what he was charging for these items. But honestly, the stuff is ugly. Now, fashion, I guess I wear shit that people would think like you're an absolute nutcase for wearing that, but this stuff just isn't very nice looking to me, but I guess it's a personal taste thing. So Jay is known for doing like a lot of Instagram lives and stuff, talks to a lot of people and like engages with his audience. I think that's where he builds that kind of rapport that makes them do this kind of stuff. He obviously launched this, I don't know what his intentions were, maybe he launched it as a legitimate clothing brand and his outgoings have got too high, or he's wanted money faster, or he's thought he's deserved more money, or whatever it is. I actually kind of think this guy almost thinks he's a prophet of God, genuinely, I'm not even kidding on. And Ben Baller actually tweeted this as well. I think he actually maybe thinks he's a prophet and everything he gets is just like God's will. I honestly don't know, but what he started doing were these like ridiculous giveaways where he'd say like on Instagram Live, hey, the next 100 people to make a Mazzini Italy order, a minimum of 8 items, so that made him a few $100s. What I'm going to do is for the next 100 people that make those orders, I'm personally going to package a box and I'm going to put $50,000 in cash in it. And people will go, oh my God, and buying the stuff, right? Don't fucking ask me why. Some of these giveaways he's talking about are like 6 million total, $12.5 million total. I'll show you some of them just now. Let's have a look at a few of the videos just now.
For the hear this quickly. For the next 200 people to place in 1,000 Mazzini Italy orders, like for each person to place in $1,000 Mazzini Italy order, it's a lot, but I'll be cutting out a check for $125,000 in one order. So if you placed in 750, this only applies for the next 800 people. For the next 800 people, if you make the cut, we're gonna be sending you an email tonight or tomorrow asking you for your PayPal to send the $750 to.
As you can see, he's just talking absolutely ridiculous numbers. Now this is kind of why I struggle with this. Maybe it's because I'm quite a diligent person. Now there's no evidence of what Jay Mazzini's done before. There's no evidence that he is a multi-millionaire. There's no evidence that he would have that kind of liquidity, cash there. And also, his company is just plainly not big enough from what I can see to be able to offer those kind of giveaways. There's nobody in the world that I think has ever done anything like that. And he could then go, yeah, I'm the first, I'm a visionary, I'm a fucking groundbreaker, fucking whatever, but it's clearly a load of shit straight away in my opinion. You can tell right off the bat. What's kind of funny is the fact that he's saying like the next 800 orders as if like he gets like $1,000 an hour. You know, so he's like, the next 800 orders as if like 800 orders are going to be gone in 5 minutes. So people are going and grabbing stuff. And as you can see from some other videos that I'll share here, people were actually recording themselves opening these boxes and getting nothing.
And knew nothing wasn't gonna be in here. Fucking scam artist. Fucking trash. Fuck this weak ass shit.
Obviously, I would know for sure watching that nobody was going to get anything anyway, but these people clearly still had some kind of hope that they might get something, and Mr. Mazzini then turned around and said that, oh, because it's in Mazzini Italy boxes, everyone knows who I am, so the postmen must be ripping the boxes open and stealing the cash, right? Whatever good business person would put 50 grand cash in a box or 125 grand cash in a box is not a good businessman. They're an idiot. So then he says he's going to start Venmoing people and all that kind of stuff. Sure, as most of you watching this would agree, to fall for something like that is beyond the realm of my understanding personally. Like, who in the right mind would think like that? This is actually worse than getting scammed by those like Bitcoin mining accounts on Instagram that go, send me $1,000 and you'll get 8 grand back today. This guy's saying like, buy $300, $400, $500 of my product, whatever it is, even if it was $1,000, buy however much of my product. You get the product, so you get what you're paying for anyway, and then I'm going to put 125 grand in cash in your box. It's just never going to happen. What he then done to try and legitimise himself a little bit more, and I could only get a little bit of info on this, was he started doing giveaways on live and giving them to his friends. So what he'd obviously done is said to his friends, oh, unlike my posts and do this and do that, and I'll give it to you. Or he was giving it to accounts with like 0 followers, 0 following, 0 posts. It's so obvious. So as you can see here, he gave something away to one of his friends who's ended up in another video with him now, and they're apparently business but charity partners now, and they claimed on a live, which I couldn't get footage of, that they never knew each other before this moment. But then you go back on this guy's page, you can see here he's wearing a Mazzini Italy hoodie, and he was, if you go through Jay's likes on some of his old posts from 2019, you can see he's liked the posts. So they obviously knew each other in some way or another before that period of the giveaway. As you see now, Mazzini Italy hasn't posted since August 2020. If he was doing all these orders and stuff, there's no way in hell, even if he was doing fake giveaways on top of all that, you would still keep the company running. It doesn't appear to be under investigation, so you clearly keep it running if it was doing all this amazing stuff, but it just plainly wasn't. If you click on the site is under maintenance, so I don't imagine we'll be seeing Mazzini Italy clothing coming back anytime soon. So, on to one of his other, ventures, the Mazzini Academy. Now, I love when people have academies named after them, right? So he has the Mazzini Academy, and that I'm kind of also unclear on what it does, because he changes what his thing is like every week. So Mazzini Academy appeared to start as like selling electronics, how to flip phones and buy he buys AirPods in like bulk of like 10,000 units apparently for super cheap, and then sells them still under market value, and how you can do that and flip all this stuff, and like how you can start a clothing brand and this and that. Basically the handful of things he's shown himself doing online, this Mazzini Academy then would teach you how to do. I think it's somewhere between $200 and $350 depending on the package that you choose. That's how much it costs to get into the Mazzini Academy. The reason he's getting people to sign up is, one, obviously there are people that are into his brand, they're into his thing, they clearly believe that he has some semblance of success because it looks as if he does, and if you just look at his page, he's doing all this charitable stuff, so people will organically go and sign up because they want to emulate the stuff he's done with his life. But I think the real reason why people sign up is he says he does these blessings for Academy members. He picks random people that he sees their name and he feels like some fucking energy or whatever. This is where I get this profit thing from, right? That so he picks these people, yeah, and he blesses them. And like a few weeks ago he always talks about people's brothers and sisters, which is something I've found a lot in the Muslim community, especially growing up in Pollokshields. People refer to other, like, Muslim women out with their own family as sisters, and men as brothers, and elders as uncles and aunties, even if they're not related. It's just a cultural thing, right? And he's like, I blessed this sister with $650,000. I picked this sister at random and gave her 650 grand. People ask, why would I do that? Because it's deeper than the Academy. It's my mission from God and all this kind of stuff. So he's like, I know I said it's kind of an affinity scam earlier, but the more I think about it, he's 100%, especially, he will prey on anyone who'll give him money, but especially other Muslims. Funnily enough, his wife and his sister do a very similar thing to all this, with like a lash, a nail company, where they do these like giveaways and stuff, much smaller scale, but you can clearly see that this Mazzini family and extended family and friend group are all kind of into this same fraudy type of shit. In short, looking through everything, I cannot find a single person who has ever received a cash giveaway, a product giveaway, or a blessing from Jay Mazzini or any of his ventures so far. So what is Jay Mazzini doing now? Jay Mazzini now is some crypto visionary fucking investor guy, jumping on all these cryptos and all these things being pumped by Wall Street bets and claiming he's called them and that he's like clearly some super sophisticated investor. As you can see from his Twitter, he's only got like 5,000 followers, which shows his audience are getting really uninvested in what he's doing. And you can tell from how he tweets, if you look at these tweets, he actually totally believes he has a huge amount of influence in the market, asking for 20,000 retweets. I mean, I nearly have more followers than him on Twitter, and I maybe do like 3 retweets a year on the platform. So he's constantly posting this stuff, tagging Elon Musk. He's almost trying to associate himself with all these people and have, like, you know, innocence by association as opposed to guilt by association. And he's also doing these Bitcoin giveaways, like, I'm giving away $50 a Bitcoin, I'm giving away $100 a Bitcoin, and obviously to be able to do that, he must have Bitcoin, and this is where we get into how he's attempting to acquire Bitcoin. What I can see, it seems he doesn't have a big crypto wallet, he doesn't have a huge amount of money, really, so it's not like he's holding all this stuff where he's a super liquid guy and can do these giveaways. He's obviously already got a history of being an absolute fuckhead that doesn't actually give the shit away, but to give him the benefit of the doubt, which he doesn't fucking deserve, I can't find where he would have a wallet, or he's spoken about his crypto wallet or anything like that. I think one of his biggest calls just now is he's claiming he called that Dogecoin or Dogecoin, whatever, people are calling it different shit, but he's claiming he like called that and was some early investor in it or something. What he's been doing is he's been posting like I'm buying Bitcoin, I don't care if it's at 42k, I'm buying it right now, this is the best investment I'm ever making. Like, making people kind of believe that hype train, and that he, this amazing investor, visionary clothing brand, blessing, profit, fucking imbecile, is willing to pay, you know, top price for Bitcoin. So everyone should be able to pay top price for Bitcoin, because if he thinks it's such a great investment, then it must be amazing. What he done was he posted saying, he's deleted most of the tweets, but he posted stuff like this, saying I'm paying like 5% over market value for Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's sitting at, you know, 40k, he will pay you 42 for a Bitcoin, so you make 2 grand more, because he said he's tired of these bullshit brokers fucking him around and messing with his money, which I just don't believe, right? Because I could literally go on right now and buy a Bitcoin if I wanted to. It would be in my wallet, and that's it. Elon Musk, who fucking owns Tesla, can go last week or the beginning of this week buy 1.5 billion in Bitcoin and have no problems, right? Obviously he's got connections that can make that easier, but I'm like the least connected style of investor. I trade on a retail platform, right? It's nothing special. But he's just not rich enough to be on Elon Musk level, but just too rich to be a retail investor, so the brokers won't touch him. Doesn't really make any sense. Nevertheless, this is what he posted, saying if you have Bitcoin, I'm buying, hashtag a lot. So get in contact with me, no tire kickers, no time wasters. He was then talking to people on WhatsApp and saying to them, look, send me your Venmo details, your Cash App, your bank, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to send you, let's say he was wanting 2 coins, I'm going to send you, it's like 84,000 if it was at that price, but whatever price it was, he was paying 5% over. And he's like, I'm going to bank transfer you that, and then you send me the coins, right? And people were like, okay, cool. So then he was saying, as you can see in these excerpts, that's it sent, brother, I've sent the money, blah, 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 claiming that he'd sent it, and doing one of the oldest scam tricks in the fucking book, saying it's going to take 2 to 3 working days for it to arrive. Now, in this situation, both kind of people are a bit silly again, because neither person is under any obligation to trust the other. So is Jay Mazzini, let's pretend he's not a scamming knobends, right? But is Jay Mazzini to transfer someone money, let it land in their account, and then imagine that they're going to send the Bitcoin when they could easily keep it? Or is the person with the Bitcoin to believe Jay Mazzini that the transfer's coming in 2 to 3 days and is to send them the 2 coins? It's like really hard to work out, but with Jay Mazzini's history, his reputation, he's clearly not to be trusted, and the fact that he's this amazing big investor and would consider even doing that, if it was legitimate, shows that there's a real lack of intelligence there. As you can see from how this guy's communicating with Jay, it's clear on this Muslim affinity thing. He's like, inshallah every 2 seconds, and like, because that's like, it means God willing, right? So he's clearly maybe not skeptical, because that would be negative, right? But he's clearly hopeful that this is coming together. And then when things go bad, he's saying like wallah, and obviously saying like, he's basically swearing to God, like, I swear to God you done this thing. Sorry if I'm getting it slightly incorrect, I'm not super up to date with like my Arabic colloquialism use and all that kind of stuff, but that's what he's saying. He's like basically swearing to God that this was what was going to happen. And in this situation, yeah, either person could be lying for sure, but I'm not going to fucking put my money on Jay Mazzini. This is one of the clearest showings that this was some type of affinity scam. What we can kind of divulge into is now that Jay does have Bitcoin that he's got from scamming people like this, because nobody's received a payment from him. There's the odd person saying he took 8 grand worth of Bitcoin from me, he took 12 grand, he took 40 grand, blah, 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 blah. So he's clearly got Bitcoin, and I think what he's doing is this big scam to have the Bitcoin, to then actually really start doing the $50, $100, $1,000 Bitcoin giveaways to drum up positive attention, because people actually will get the money and be posting saying, look, Jay Mazzini sent me $1,000 of Bitcoin, and then all the positive voices will drown out all the people that I'm speaking of just now, and then he can either fuck off to another country or whatever he's going to do to get away from the people that he scammed. Because in my opinion, if you're taking 40, 50, 100k off of people, you're not that many, maybe it's different in Scotland, but you're not that many people away from someone that's going to turn up at your door and fucking cut you up. So I can't imagine he'll be able to stay in the same place for much longer. So with Mr. Jay Mazzini, that's pretty much all we've got on him just now. Let me know in the comments if you think he is one of the worst examples of the human race I've ever seen. He's definitely not the worst when we've got people like Hitler and shit, but in terms of these kind of scammers online, these academies and all that, he is properly bottom of the barrel, deplorable piece of shit. So yeah, let me know what you think. Feel free to give the video a like, a dislike. Put quite a bit of work into this one, having to dig up all this stuff, but it was I'm saying it was fun. Like, it's quite entertaining finding more stuff out about these type of guys. And Mr. Mazzini has also been known to clap back to people. Fucking, what are you getting wide with me for? So hopefully he sees this video. I'd be happy to talk to him on a Zoom call, and we can see if he can legitimise himself without having to jump on a till in Walmart and give away 20 grand of probably a couple of million that he scammed from people. It's pretty easy. Like, most people would give away 20 grand to get a million, so the numbers make sense, but the ethics don't really. As always, my website link's in the bio, www.richarddixon.com. I've got my newsletter that goes out 2, 3, 4 times per week. Investment ideas, advice, access to grants and investment schemes in the UK, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you go, click the website, fill in your details to get access to the free mailing list. Unlike Mr. Mazzini, I don't have the Dixon Academy, so I've not got anything really to sell you. I just like giving out this information and building a bit of an entrepreneurial community. As always, thank you for watching, and yeah, maybe give me some suggestions on who the next scammer I should do is. Peace.